Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen, and my guest and co-host is Jason D. McKean, and he is the voice of over 1 million Ohm recordings throughout the world. And he is also the Ohm Tarot Wizard. And so he is a reverend and an incredible hypnotherapist and counselor. And welcome, Jason.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you for having me today.
Great to have you on the show today. Always great. Always great to see Jason. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about put some effort to it. So we're going to talk about effort. And, that's maybe a lot of the formula, mixing the goodies when you're doing any sort of projects or doing anything. Our great grandmother who lived till I was 27. So we were very lucky to have our great grandparents for a very long time. And my great grandmother used to say, it only takes a couple minutes to do something right. So she would always tell us that when we were doing anything. And it's just stuck to me like glue. And then somebody said it to me the other day. That was some guy who I had said it to, like one of the kids' friends, and it was like, wow, that had stuck with them too. So it's just to make a little bit more effort, and something to do is done well, or it's finished, or but it's not noodling something. We can get to where we're doing something too much. Trying to make it perfect, beyond perfect, and sometimes that doesn't work, it gets too tight. We want it fresh and amazing.
Yeah, it's like great grandma lived until 98. So she did have a couple of extra minutes there, and she was a seamstress, she was a tailor, by trade. And so
a really good one too.
Oh, amazing. I mean, she was like incredible. And I find that the people who put in that extra attention, that extra time, that's part of creating something worthwhile.
Yeah. And she would I think she started out making sailors uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
She made sailors uniforms, and then she went on to create hats and create different things. And then she, for years and years living in Alaska, she was a furrier. And we're not real big on fur, but in Alaska it's very cold, and in the early 1900s it was very cold.
Really? That wasn't my experience of Alaska.
Oh no, I think it was balmy, right? It was balmy.
That's why I live in California. Because it was cold in Alaska.
So, wearing a little fur is, if you're gonna, if the animal goes down, is to do the right thing and use every part of the animal. But yeah, so there was a few furs running around in those days.
Yeah. So, I have a question for you. As far as, I know those areas where if I have to do something, it feels like I just want to like do kind of the minimum in it and just get through it. There are some of those things in life that is just like, what, I'm not super into this, but I gotta do it. And so, bare minimum.
Well, as the noodle master, I'm sure you're like that sometimes, because his wife, he calls him the noodle master, and he has to make all the noodles.
And it's not noodling around like, what we were talking about earlier. It is like pastas and ramens and the sobas. It's about, knowing when the right time is for, to cook the noodles so that they're perfect.
Yes.
I'm the noodle master.
Yes. It is. It's really funny. Yeah, she puts them to work as the noodle master.
But cooking like just other stuff, it's like, oh my God, it's like, that is an art form. It
So
is
you
it
could
is
live
a
on
gift.
noodles. So you could live just on noodles.
I mean, I would probably die if I just ate noodles, but as far as that supplementary to,
And you being
more
able to do it.
substantial foods, yeah, it's like I'm able to do that well.
Well, I contend that you need to put love in all food. So when you put in an effort, you breathe in, you pray over it, whatever you want to do with the food. And that's why we do prayers at meal times. But it's the intention that comes into it that allows it to be like delicious. Because it feels it too. Maybe the water feels it, and everything feels the vibration of, oh, I just love you.
It does, it's like we are this energetic, like radio tower or beacon, we send out energy,
Yeah.
and I get that. It's like, again, there are some, activities I just resist, because it's not in my wheelhouse. It's like I'm not confident
Vacuuming.
in a lot of things. Vacuuming, I've
What
done
else?
it, but do
Changing
I
the oil.
like it?
Right.
What was that? What was the second one?
Changing the oil.
Never do it. As far as, just take it to Jiffy Lube or, one of these other places.
I don't know. What else? Gardening.
Paperwork,
Paperwork.
of
You don't like paperwork?
not crazy about, filling out forms and things like that. It's harder to put intention and love into it, even though it's of benefit. It's like there's just some things. If I'm working on a creative project, music or a book or something, it's like, it's like my whole demeanor changes, and it becomes one of love and putting effort into it, where I want to put effort into it.
Well,
It's
that's
like, to hold
considered
myself
kind
back.
of the fun stuff. But you've done a lot of hard stuff too.
Yeah.
And a lot of corporate duties and, having to talk to everybody and their brother,
And it's not that, like with people, I don't feel that people are an effort.
Yeah.
Of course, there are always personalities where it's like you may not like get in sync with them exactly, as far as they may, come at you in a way where it's like, whoa, but
Oh,
it's like being able to be in a place of effort,
yeah.
where you choose to be present with it, and to create this symbiotic relationship with it, so that you're not resisting it. You're not just saying, oh God, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. It's like,
Mm,
you can even get to a place of like, neutrality, or
mhm.
where it's like you can see the benefit of doing something, and it's just like, okay, if I do this, then that opens up the path for this to happen. And so, gonna move through this and get her done.
Right. I have a ghosty.
I saw your computer go.
Not I am. Yeah.
It's like, your ghosty is like,
Wanting to get wrapped up in cords.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you resist?
What do I resist? I don't think I resist much. I resist accumulating on the earth. Yeah. I am always accumulating. That's what I'm kidding. Anyway, gosh, what do I resist? I don't know. I wouldn't say that I resist things. Maybe that's the first thing. I don't really know if I resist. I've really worked hard, I think, in my life not to resist anything. You know, I can vacuum, I can wash dishes, I can put away dishes, I can mop, I can, I do paperwork, talk on the phone with clients for hours, be in seminars in front of people. No, I don't think I resist much. I may resist like, silly things. Not really. I don't resist weather. I don't resist going around in the world. I'm always excited about other people's cultures.
When you say silly things, is that like superficial things,
Yeah,
like things that may not, it seems like they may matter just only in the moment, but they don't have any real
well, a lot of
consequence
people
to
tell
them.
me that they resist people, and I don't resist people either.
Mhm.
Um,
I think that's a big part of it. I think that,
yeah,
a person who is like wired where it's like they aren't either confident in how to show up, in the presence of others or so, then it can be a place of fear, and it can be a resistance, and therefore, you know, how one, it's like the motivation or the effort that one puts in to things can be less,
yeah,
because it's like, I don't know, exactly what this is leading up to, or, I don't know what it is that I want in this. So, I'm just gonna just kind of hang out on the edges here and not invest myself.
yeah. Well, and that's just it. How do I invest myself? So I would say that I live by a pretty good schedule, and I wouldn't I don't say that I resist things. I would say that I just when I just make good choices of things. It's
Mhm.
always a choice. And yeah, the only thing I might resist is time, but even that, I think I make great use of my time and have a great time every day. I'm doing something fun and nice, or talking to people, doing fulfilling, satisfying, helping, being of service in the world, so I don't really feel that I'm wasting my life at all.
I think that is at the core of, again, like kind of the energy that we put into the things that are in front of us to do.
Mhm.
It's like an alignment within. It's like we set the stage. We have this alignment of head and heart, of, so we're not battling ourselves, because that, if we want to go, one part of ourselves wants to go this way, the other part wants to go this way. It's like, how do you like move forward in that confidence, and where we can just fully like engage in it.
Right.
It's like, and put that effort into it. It's like,
Right.
how.
Right. Like, I'm not super big about sugar, say, and, but that's a choice when, you're offered something delectable, you can say yes or no. And
Yes.
I made all those pink cookies, I mean, it was a recipe that made 63 cookies. And I thought at the time, 63, it's not going to make 63 cookies. It's going to make maybe 30.
Well, why did you make those
Oh, it
cookies?
make like 58 cookies for Everest. And they were big cookies too. And then I frosted them and then decorated them and sent them the next morning, because gosh, having those amazing cookies, and they tasted so good because, I put so much love into them, is, oh my God, get these cookies out of here.
Well, you put love and sugar into them, right?
Yeah. And she doesn't really eat like that either.
Wait a sec, but you sent her 63 of them?
I feel like 350. Yeah,
Okay.
because she's so funny, because
That's
she
a
ate
lot
them
of cookies to send
yesterday.
to a little kid. It's
Well,
like,
I
here's
expected she's
50
gonna
cookies. And it's
disperse.
like, ah,
I know, yeah, you think that like kids
they're
would be
like
like that, right? She's
running
not
around
really
the
like
house
that.
for.
She said to me, it was so funny. She said to me yesterday, she said, you know, Grandma, there's so many cookies. There's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to eat all these cookies. And I said, well, share them. You're sharing them
Yeah, share them.
with everybody.
You know,
Yeah, yeah. So
she should like set up like a cookie stand, like, on the sidewalk
sell
there
'em.
and sell them,
Right.
and then buy like an iPod, for herself, like she wanted from
Yeah.
grandma,
Yeah, right. No,
not
no,
cookies.
she has that sort of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, because she's hilarious anyway. So and loves to be talking for hours on Messenger, mostly Messenger, because she can make funny faces with all of us. And so yesterday the whole family, well, they are my immediate kids and everything were on the yeah, I didn't push the button for the whole family, but maybe this weekend I will, because she just loves it. Yeah. So yeah, and she's there, laughing and carrying on and talking and engaging, at 7 years old. She's always been very interesting, this child, this way. A lot like her dad. Really, her dad was always a communicator, loved to, converse with the adults and be with the adults, and Cheyenne too. Willie too, actually. They all did. So I think that's just the kind of the way of our family. So anyway, these cookies, yeah. I mean, it was just like, these are too many cookies. That's right. Oh, do you like them? And she goes, oh, of course, Mom, I love them. But a lot of cookies. And towards I thought, wow, nothing like, she's limiting, like, yeah, there's so many.
It's a lot. I mean, I never like, bulk when I get cookies as gifts or whatever. It's just like, yeah, okay, well, let's throw them in the freezer, and
Well, maybe I should have suggested that. Throw some in the freezer so you can have some, in a week or two.
right.
Yeah. But because she's not eating them. She is.
It's like,
And she's not like that anyway. She's not a super sugar, girl. She wants an apple. She doesn't really want a cookie. I mean, she likes cookies,
if you sent her a bag of apples for her birthday, would it be the same?
No, but if I had decorated them somehow, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Glued like googly eyes on them or something?
I wouldn't use glue, but
Well, no, of course not. You would
I
use
do something funny.
sugar to like, some like caramel or something to,
Yeah,
stick them on there.
And caramel apples or something. She'd like that.
Well,
Yeah,
not
then they'd be
carameled
heavy.
apples.
Then
It's
they're
just, you
heavy.
send like apples, something that's nutritious.
But they're
What
heavy through the mail. Apples be sent, that gets weight.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I already spent a lot of money.
Well, 50 cookies is, that's not light. I'm glad you made the effort to, make the cookies.
Oh, no, you have to make this special.
And frost them and then put that love into them.
Yeah, she loved it. And then I made horse ones too, because it was Lyrica's birthday. So she loved the horsey cookies too. I said, we're celebrating Lyrica's birthday too. So I need some horsey.
And you can't feed Lyrica cookies.
No, she doesn't have cookies.
No. Yeah. So, I because I am the tarot wizard, I looked at some cards too that, show
the effort
about effort.
Ooh, very
into
nice.
things. And what came up? It's like the Chariot.
All right.
Came up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that movement in the Chariot that allows for one to be in a place of alignment and willpower. Willpower is that energy that, it's like we lock into what it is that we want and putting forth that will, activating that will, so that, we're moving towards what it is that we want. But, sometimes we run into obstacles, and I think that effort upping that game is sometimes what keeps the like the people who are talkers, or they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and they kind of move towards something, but they don't like, they don't look to grasp it. They don't look to really, if it's not easy, then they don't want to do it. It's when it gets tough, that's when we have to be in a place of resolve, and we check in with ourselves, and it's like, do I really want this? And we say, if we say yes, then we can keep continuing on. If we say, no, I guess it's too difficult or whatever, then then it isn't for you. It's not your thing. It's like kind of showing up in all those areas of it, so you can get to your goal. You can get to it, and that is putting effort into it. Sometimes we know clients, people who they'll get to, like, that 90% level of completing something, and then just stop.
I have one of those projects now. I do, actually. I have to get on it.
Well, this episode is for you then, as far as
it is actually, after all. I do have to make a little more effort on one project.
Yeah,
But,
and
I'm on an awful lot of projects right now. We have to,
right,
admit. Yeah.
right. Scheduling,
lazing around.
Scheduling is a thing, but I mean, if you look at that, right? I mean, what's helpful, if you're an example of that, it's like, what is helpful information for someone else to say, oh yeah, that's me also. What can I do? Does it take, just setting aside some time, to focus in on just that, because I find that sometimes, it does take that wherewithal to just say, you know what, I'm just gonna, like, let everything else just kind of like be on the sidelines while I focus on this and get that last remaining part done. And then when I do that, it's like I do get it done, and then I can pay attention to, the the dogs that are like going, how come you haven't fed me for 2 days?
Right.
No, I'm
Well,
teasing.
they're like right now, like, what we're gonna play.
Yeah.
Radio.
It's like, there's a balance of those things, making sure that you're, feeding yourself, that you're not, doing, something that is, starving yourself or your family or anything. You're able to make sure that that's happening, but there can be a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
And there can be, ways to just, put those to the sidelines while you focus, you get it done, and then you can come back to it. And the distractions are, everything from the social medias to, it's like, well, I've got to, watch this game on TV, or this friend, it's like, I've got to, engage with them. It's like just kind of, pulling back just enough to get something finished, because if there's and this isn't you, it's just like there are people who will get to, like, the end of their accomplishment, what they're trying to finish, and they stop, and then that becomes a signal that, okay, I guess this is who I am. I'm not a finisher. And so the next thing that they do, they'll get excited, they'll go towards the end, but then they'll stop and say, well, I guess, it becomes a pattern. It becomes, something that's, more and more. And
I think I'll change direction. Maybe I could get more traction with this. It's just like, yeah, but you're almost done with that. Yeah, it's almost, yeah, it's a lack of confidence to keep going.
Yeah, it's like I experience, it's not a belief, it's an experience that one thing leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next. And you may not know how, something that you're involved in will, turn out, like all the outcomes of it, but it's that, it's that inner drive. It is that willingness to put in the effort and
Yeah.
to complete things that, down the road, it's like, it signals to you, it signals to others too, who may want to engage your services, work with you to, if people know that you're someone who completes things, it's like they're on board. If they see you as someone who like falls short, it's like, it's a
Well,
tougher sell.
sometimes you can, I have to say there is a time sometimes where people will beat a dead horse and they're finishers. They're people who finish things, but there's some kind of maybe steps that weren't taken in a different direction to, so the project may be completed, but the distribution or the process wasn't, it didn't have an outlet somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I contend that a lot of people who think invisibly, like, I don't like people, I don't want, I don't want this, I don't want that. They usually are creating their own reality because, you can't be invisible and be visible. You have to be a visible being if you want your
It's
project
taking,
to live.
it's taking ownership.
Yeah,
You're connecting yourself to what it is that you create in the world.
right. Yes.
And there can be, it's not that everything that you create, it has to be kind of like a personification of it, like, we see that a lot with celebrities and all artists, that it's like they're linked to their work. Sometimes, it's like the person who invented like the ballpoint pen, can go anonymous in the world, even though they've made a contribution.
Silly. Yeah.
Yeah, but without, like, saying, hey, you know who I am, right? It's like, I
Right.
made this. This is me.
They might be gone now, weren't ballpoint pens made in the 1950s, maybe, or the 40s? I wonder. Now I want to look it up on Google.
Well,
Does
if you see,
everybody
like,
Google?
some old person shuffling down the street going, this is me,
Yay.
I did this, then, either they're, a little off their rocker, or it is them.
Right.
Maybe I'll try that. I'm gonna go down, hang out downtown LA going, yeah, this is me. It's like, oh boy. No, really, I made this. You people owe me.
You
You
wish.
owe me.
You wish. You wish. Because that person has so much confidence because they swim in money.
I made the
And
ballpoint
they may be
pen.
dead and swimming in the good fortune of heaven, but they definitely,
Ah,
mm. Yeah, and it's kind of an interesting thing when you think about it. Like, where does the ink come from? Somebody really wanted to keep going on writing. They didn't want the pencil, and they didn't want the inkwell with the dip nib.
yeah, to have it all self-contained like that. Most invention is created through trial and error. A lot of accidents, can create, a new product. But the effort, it's like, what are you connected to most in your own life to again, like, kind of push yourself, push yourself towards a goal. Are you clear about what it is that you want?
Mhm.
Is it something that is a little bit more amorphous, as far as like, I don't know exactly what I want, but there's a direction. I don't know exactly what it is, but are you able to have some like key areas that you're willing to go towards, and make sure that you wake up on time, that you don't sleep in till noon, and feel like that the day is wasting, that um you wake up with a clarity of saying, I'm at least going to show up early in this, and not just feel like I'm uh half-assing it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's funny. I've been talking about effort. I don't know why, but I've gotten into this big thing of um is it germinating? Avocado seeds. So I have all these avocado trees, and actually, I should probably start selling them because I don't really have a place to plant them. So, giving them away
Mhm.
to people. But yeah, and I brought one home, and it's been rooting from Florida, the really big avocados. So I had two seeds, and one was actually doing quite well, and then it just didn't make it. And then, which they sometimes do. And one is just taken off now. So I
Mhm.
expect a sprout to be a tree here pretty soon. Yeah. And I thought, because I have to do a little research, where exactly is the area, what kind of temperatures they like best. So give it to somebody who's in the right temperature for it.
Yeah, they do. It's like my wife, who is a master like
Oh, she's
gardener and all that. She knows, like, like the right climates and stuff for the various fruit and vegetables, and all the plants. It's
well,
like,
that was a fluke. We should tell the story of that. Anyway, I was doing a project, and the project didn't really fly, but um, Cheyenne and Sue wanted to do some gardens for some herbs and do some different herbs for the project.
yeah,
And
they needed some land to be
yeah, they
able
need some.
to plant
Mm,
like some plants for herbs and vegetables and
right.
stuff.
So
Mostly herbs.
The city of Venice actually gave them garden plots. And well, I mean, where's land in Venice? There is none, not really. But they became farmers in Venice. And Sue, Cheyenne like moved to Washington, so back and forth. So Sue really took off with it. And now she's just this, she's already a homeopathic doctor, but now she's even, she's just a master at gardens and horticulture. Yeah, all these plants and where to put the plants, and
It's
it's
like
great.
one thing I'll say about her is that she puts effort into it.
It's effort. Yeah, it's just effort. And
And
it's effortless for her effort, though. She makes it look effortless, like she's enjoying herself. There's a passion for it.
there's that spark, right? I mean, that is a main ingredient. It's
Yeah,
like, she doesn't resist it at all,
good.
at all. And it's it's something that, if one finds that an area that they've dedicated themselves to, if it covers a lot of, just covers those areas of passion, but it's not exactly complete. If there are new areas that one can dive into, it's like, she is an example of someone who will go for that, and it doesn't take away from what it is that she already knows.
Mhm.
um when she was younger, there was a lot of like forced exercises, like and piano, things like that. And it wasn't for her, but there was a certain discipline to it, to where, one can apply their own discipline to those areas that they find that they love. And, so that is a huge part of how one applies their own effort into what it is that they do, is you find these formulas for yourself that work. And you can always, recognize when something, another layer needs to be added to it. And do you rise up to that? And the person who is focused and willing to rise up, it's like, that's when you go for it.
Mhm.
That is when you put that extra oomph into it.
Mhm. This is a happy Sophia from, my Brazilian baby. She's my baby.
Hi, Sophia. She's like kind of in and out
Yeah,
there,
she's in and
phasing
out
in
on
and
the
out.
green screen. Hey, you're so cute, honey.
She's so sweet.
She is so cute. Yep, she came all the way from the Amazon jungle. Not Amazon, the app.
Yeah, it's like I ordered her from Amazon. It's
Yeah,
like, not quite.
brought her home from the Amazon jungle.
So what's your first step in putting more effort into your project that you're going to complete?
Oh, it's just a time, creating time. I have to put it in my schedule like it's an appointment.
But like writing it in and saying,
Yeah.
okay, time.
This is the time. Yeah, give me 2 hours, 3 hours here, 2 hours, 3 hours here, and then be diligent. That's what I've done for years with it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as an example, to others, right? It's like, making time and sticking to it. When you see it in your appointment book, it's not about, well, it's just this, I'll just move this. And then, it's like, okay, gonna do it.
Right.
Sit down, do it.
Yeah. Sit down, do it.
All right.
Yeah. Don't mess around. Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. And I have such great projects coming that, I don't want to, I can't just go full on to that project, but because I've been on so many other great projects, as we know. I've been doing a lot of classes for the Vortex Mystery School. I mean, I don't even know how many I have now in there. I'm gonna have to count. It's maybe 25, it's maybe 27. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like astrology, tarot, human design. It's like you're
And we're
really like,
going. I'll keep going because there's
it's like all increasing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's everyone's given the same 24 hours in the day.
Yeah.
And to make sure that one has a busy life, but also productive too. And it is a thing of time,
Yeah.
finding the amount of time. And it's like, I think it's important to recharge oneself,
Mhm.
for someone as busy as we are. It's like, as entrepreneurs, as people who are, kind of create their own schedule. It's like, finding time to pull back, and not just sleep time, but where you're able to just go free in your head, so you're not just like always at this peak intensity,
Mhm.
or in someone else's situations, their life events that they're you know uh having difficulty with. It's like, as a practitioner, one needs to recharge and kind of reclaim their own power.
Right.
and
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 yeah. I'll be off the books for a couple of weeks in March.
Yeah, but some of that is like, time too, to just kind of like, with creative projects and all, to just let things marinate. And when it's done marinating, it's like, put it in the oven,
Right.
cook it.
Mhm.
That-
Yeah.
that's
Well,
a
and just make
new
that
phrase.
extra effort, and then, and make the extra effort actually to rest and to have fun. Yeah. I mean, like baking the cookies. That was fun. I mean, not that I bake cookies all the time, because, we know I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fun.
I'm disappointed actually that you don't make more cookies. Send them my way.
Well, mom does. Yeah, mom stuff and cookies. Yeah. So
It's
we know.
true. And hopefully she's watching. It's like, Mom, send cookies just to me, just to me.
Yeah, you do have a ways to wait here now for a few months for cookies.
Right?
Well,
At least
August.
until my birthday,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, I even have more to wait, but it's okay. It's okay.
Is it okay?
I ate a couple of those pink cookies, and then they were gone out of here.
Yeah.
Shipped them out. Afterwards, like, what? Grandma went crazy. It was just a box, but it was it's pretty filled.
There's one other tarot card. I mean, there's a lot, but there's one other that comes up when someone is looking, to get on it, as far as, to manifest, and the Eight of Pentacles will show
Yeah.
up. And
Wow. Eight of Pentacles is a great card for that. Wow.
the work card, I feel that, one can do things and resist them, or they can get in the flow of it. And it's like, the more that we're able to get in a flow of whatever it is that we're doing, it's like we'll kind of lose ourselves in it, but we also find ourselves in it too. So it's kind of this strange dichotomy of where we can lose track of time. We can find that we're so involved in it that it's like it becomes us, and we find like new layers that are opening up there. And I think that, that's part of the process of anything that we do, that we have a natural inclination towards, or just an interest that we're not sure exactly how it's going to all open up for us, but we dive in, and once we're in it, we can really find ourselves in it. We can expand ourselves, and in that idea of placing, giving ourselves permission, right, to just say, you know what, let's just keep at it. This is worthwhile. And at the end of it, it's like we have something to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing leads to the other, leads to the next, leads to the next. Even if something doesn't take off, if it doesn't fly, it's like, at least we're ready for creating the next thing, so that we don't get right up to it and then say, it's this over here.
Yeah. Oh boy. We can sabotage ourselves so easily that way, can't we? Holy moly. I've seen it so much.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can. Some things take a little bit of time. There is that. I've worked on
Patience.
projects. I've created albums in 16 hours, like in a day,
Mhm.
with others. By myself, I've created albums in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I've created albums that have taken 5 years to make. I'm working on one it's been about 12 years.
Wow. Is that with you and the guys?
It's like me and a couple of the musicians. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not that you know, it's an everyday, you know, we're focused on, you know, creating a sound. It's
Right.
like, yes, we're creating a one note at a time. That's not what it is. It's just you know, it's just kind of the casual. Sometimes there's these pockets of time that's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna, you know, jump in and work on this.
There's some effort on that, but it's more of a fun project, right? That's, if it sells, it's fun, but you guys are
One doesn't do it
just
because
together and in camaraderie.
yeah, it's one doesn't do it because it's like, yeah, we're gonna, you know, go
Make
fill,
millions.
you
Yeah.
know, the sports arena, you know, and all. It's not that at all. It is about, you know, creating something worthwhile and all, something different.
Right.
But
And they're very successful in their careers, both the other musicians.
yeah, it's like all of us have success in other areas, and it's just can be more of a passion project, but
Yeah.
it's still, you know, putting the effort to get something done. Sometimes, you know, it's motivation from someone else. Like if you tell someone, you know, what it is that you're up to, and they'll occasionally ask you, how's it going with that? It's like, you know, if you're not working on it, it can be just kind of this reminder of like, oh yeah, there's that. I should finish that. So I'm not just endlessly talking about something. But
Well, I'm maybe not talking about it enough sometimes, whereas, you know, it takes that back burner and it's like, oh yeah, I have that project.
yeah, it's like the back
Everything's
burner
like
stuff.
running forward. Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
It's okay, you know, again, to have things, you know, within that realm. It's like, you know, one doesn't have just all the time just to focus on something, but when you do have it in front of you, you know, it's like activating a permission in yourself to keep advancing on it, to get it done, to visualize yourself completing it, and to hammer out the details. You know, it's like where you don't just start off strong and then it's like a mad rush to like, oh God, you know, let's just get it done, whatever. And it ends up being weak. It's like, it seems like we see a lot of movies that are like that, where they start out like really strong and then it's like they wrap it up. Like, it's just like, really? It's like that was a terrible ending. You know, it's like they just lost all their will to you know, make a quality project, you know.
Well, okay. So with that 8 of Pentacles, what if I chose a card? What would change it? Like, as far as what kind of effort would you need to be making?
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh, the 10 of Swords.
So forget about it. As
Right.
far as, no, it's
Yeah.
you know, that what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
Well, I would think that it would be a clue on to go toward, you know, is it soulful enough? Is it talking about your ancestors or your, you know, or maybe what your ancestors did? How was their effort created and made? You know, and look back kind of on your lineage. There would be some kind of past that you need to maybe look at, maybe weaving within the family, because that 10 of Swords is kind of a weave. And there's a spider in there too, to whereas, you know, the spiders actually mean family, all your relations. As much as we don't really like spiders, but you know, that's the shamanic meaning. Yeah.
Some
And they
people
do
like
have their place.
spiders.
They do have place.
I don't fear spiders like I do snakes or rats.
Nah, I don't fear any of them, but I do, but I, you know, spiders I always used to leave up in the barn because Jason used to play spider tag with my
We
kid.
would play. It was more, there's a lot of imagination that was going. There was never any black widows that I was like placing on your kids.
Yes, thank you. Anyway, so
Saying,
yeah.
okay, This is a fun game, right? Here's a black widow on you.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah,
No.
well, the thing is with spiders is that I didn't like flies. So flies, what gets rid of flies? Spiders.
Spiders.
Yeah. So, and then I always prayed around my barn and around the house. And I lived there for 32 years, 35 years. Anyway, I always asked, I never want any spiders in my hair. So make sure that the webs are high. I just put it out there. Or I'll have to spray or something because I'll be afraid. I said, do not ever allow me to walk into a web. And they used to, those orb spiders used to make those big, huge webs, and I never did.
Well, it's because
I better knock on wood now.
Because I
but-
cleared a lot of them when I was playing spider tag with the kids.
Right.
With the broom, we take the broom and we, like get a good juicy web on it and just run after the kids.
Right.
And they would be mortified. They'd hysterical. And then they would get the broom and it would all shift. They had like the power and they became like these like little kids are.
They're still like
Anyway,
that.
it's a lot of fun. They are still like that. So
Yeah.
so that 10 of swords, like, I mean, I see it as a mindset that can get us, locked in. It's like to be flexible in anything that we do, it's like, we can have like a general plan of how we're, creating something. But if we get too locked into it, we can get stuck if things start to unravel, if our plan is not quite, if we set up these parameters where we're in we get just locked in. It's like, well, this has to go like this, and then that, and then this, and this. And if something doesn't quite happen, if like let's say we're looking to finish something and we don't have the time open up for us. If something else, a crisis comes up and it's like, oh crap, it's like we can look to upset ourselves. We can like say, oh, I'm never going to get this thing done, and we can lock ourselves into this place of inflexibility rather than saying, you know what, okay, it's like clean the slate, right? It's like most of our plans anywhere, like these etch-a-sketches that we can just kind of change up as we need to. So that's how I would see it. It's just a reminder to stay in a place of flexibility so that we can get what it is that we need to get done. But it's nice to talk about spiders though.
Well, it's funny because that's that when you leave your kids home with dad, and we left the kids home with Uncle Jason. Yeah, great. So they could play spider tag. Yeah, it's like what? Yeah. Anyway, they did it for years.
They wanted to play it.
They loved it.
They loved it. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Travis and Willie love shaving cream fights, and Travis used to beg to do the shaving cream fights. And then I finally let them do one because, I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be a disaster. There's going to be crying. And sure enough, it's just like, home videos, the funniest home videos. Because here's Travis, you can't even, his eyes, it's just shaving cream everywhere.
Was he having a good time?
No.
He's just crying.
I have to find that video. That video is somewhere around here. I have got to find that video. Yeah, because that's just hilarious. Yeah, they have to have that. They're pretty funny, those kids, because Oliver has to see that. Oliver is going to be 6 here in a couple months.
Is his son?
He needs to see it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tara.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
Effort, everybody. We just make a little more effort. They can find me at tarainsight.com, TARAINSIGHT.com, and all the classes are there too. You can just click the main page, find classes, and you can find all the new classes that we've been adding to Vortex Mystery School. And how about you, Jason?
I am at jasondmckean.com, JASOND as in Dragon Lord, McKean, MCKEAN.com. And I have my new book is out, the Tarot Circles and Cycles. And I just got like my first like 5-star review on Amazon. It was like, yeah.
Nice.
It's like it's a good feeling. And you know, I know it's helpful to a lot of readers there to be able to see the tarot in a way of, you know, seeing the movement of our lives.
That's right.
So,
very nice. Okay, thank you, Jason, for
absolutely. Thank you, Tara.
being on Transformations with Tara, and lots of love, everybody.
It's a love.